Viewers, woohoo! Woohoo! Welcome back. We've got nothing to cheer about this week.
Of course we have.
Hey?
We've got under 18 girls to cheer about.
Oh, we have too. They won. How are you?
Yeah, oh, mate, I'm great.
It was good. We're back on the road again on the weekend.
Yeah, we were, and we've had a week off.
Yeah.
Took us a while to get the mop and bucket out after the whiz.
Yeah, it was. It was very good, wasn't it?
We did put last week's show in the can, and
just didn't get around to it, really, after we clipped West Meadows by a hungy.
Hungy.
Yeah, very good. Right, let's go. Quick show tonight. Under 18, 19.5s.
Robbie Davis's crew.
That's right. The Hillside Sharks, 1915, 129. Defeated Tullamarine, 128. Now, just before I go on, it's great to see that Tulla have got an under 19 side back on the park. It's great to see.
It is. And we mentioned that when we spoke to Peter.
We did. We certainly did.
So,
Omar kicks free, and everyone loves a good chirk-up. He's back.
You know what?
Yeah?
We should give him a hiatus. We should mention him for a while. He wants to treat us like that.
Bran Catasano kicked two.
How do you say that again?
Bran Catasano. I hope we get to commentate the finals game because I look forward to calling that name.
Yeah, and
Muhammad Ali, the boxer, he kicked two.
Yeah.
Hutto kicked one, and then there were that many other ones. I said multiple ones.
Multiple ones.
Yes.
Multiple
goal kickers.
And best players, Robbie Davis has kept true to form.
Yes, he just got straight into the cans.
And said, no, get stuffed.
Yeah,
so we'll make him up. Bran Catasano.
Is that how you pronounce
it? Let's go with that.
Hudson Shaw was very good.
Good to see his hands are finally healed.
Yeah, they have.
Good on him.
And the unnamed bloke that kicked two goals is pretty good too. We're not going to name him.
No.
You can just push right on.
Another flog who wears 34.
Now listen, this show's all about bringing the game to the people. Have I got that right?
The game to the people to the game.
What about we bring the people to the way through our media connections?
And so it's fair to say, Tulla, we're a bit iffy about us coming up to.
Pete was a little bit, listen, mate, take care. You know, as long as you don't take the piss out of us or bag us or do anything like that. I said no, we don't do that.
And he took the absolute piss out of us to start with.
Yeah, absolutely, he did
by rolling out our first guest.
That was too.
So we asked him for a club legend.
How on earth did he get rolled out?
And we got Patrick Potter. Joe?
Drop in Patrick's interview, please. Viewers, welcome. Shark TV.
What about where we are, mate? Tell us.
We're back on the road. We are at Leo's Deneen's Reserves.
One of the best names of a football oval I've ever heard in my life.
Well, as we are avid media buffs, I've done a bit of research.
Do tell. Who was Leo Deneen?
Leo Deneen was a Ukrainian migrant who came over to Australia and was working in the Tullamarine area. And no one could pronounce his last name, so they called him Leo Din.
Leo Din.
Yeah.
Thanks to Leo Din, we've got this beautiful ground here today.
But seriously, Leo, Sid and Snowy, they were an army of like-minded people that would go around on a Friday night, knock on the people's doors and get 2 shillings because they were building community centres.
Good on you, Leo, mate. But let's be honest here. We're here to watch Tulla and the Sharks play.
Yeah.
The Demons v Sharks.
Yes.
Great game today.
It's going to be a massive game. Massive game of Div 1 footy.
And we've asked, what's his name, old Peter?
Yeah, Peter the President.
We said, can you roll us out a club legend? And you wouldn't believe what they've trotted out.
Who have they trotted out? Luke, mind you, just introduce him.
Let's go. Paddy Potter. Come on in, mate.
Paddy, welcome to Shark TV, mate. How are you?
Mate, clearly there's a past players function somewhere else. That's why they've trotted you out.
Oh, yeah, no. We're going all right. I've been here forever, so you know how it is.
So, Paddy, we go back probably nearly 30-odd years, you and I. We've known each other. When did you start playing, mate? When did you finish up?
I pretty much was born here. My dad was been involved for years, and I played juniors here and just stuck around and just been part of the club forever.
Part of the club or part of the drip tray, mate?
A bit of both. You know, I don't mind a drink or two.
Or just two?
Oh, just a few.
So you boys go back to, what is it, Essendon Tech days? Is it Essendon Tech?
Yeah.
Well, as soon as we left, they shut the joint down, mate. That's how good we were going. So, Paddy, you've been here 40-odd years, mate, with the family. Your old man still go up and watch a game?
Yeah, my old man actually works harder now than he's ever worked here. I get him doing all the odd jobs around the whole place. My mum works here as well, my sister. So we're pretty much heavily involved every day.
True bloody volunteer of the EDFL and the Tullamarine Footy Club.
Which is what we're all about here, Leo.
Exactly right.
Are you aware of Leo Deneen and what he done for this ground?
Yeah, I am actually. I pretty much know every single person that's been involved in the whole club. I've been here my whole life, so there's not really anyone I don't know.
So I wasn't talking complete smack when I spoke about Leo Dineen.
Yeah,
Was that right?
No, that's pretty much right.
Pretty good.
So-
Google's a good thing.
Yeah, Dr. Google. Paddy, we ask when we go around the best player you've seen play at the club in your 40-odd years here?
In my time, probably Travis Payton. He pretty much played on the wing and on the ball, and he's won three Breast and Ferris here, so he's a pretty good player.
I'm glad that Glenn Hopkins' Fitzy's name didn't come up because he's a flog of a bloke. What do you got to think about that?
Well, he's been our worst player that we've ever had here. You know, I only said that because he actually watches the show, so, you know, we'll get stuck in.
Good on you, Fitzy. That's one for you, old boy.
I'm having a look at the best and fairest board there, mate. Peyton won at 90, 91, 92. Yep. Premiership years, how many flags have we won up here at Leo Dineen?
All up, I think there's 21 all up, or something like that. I'm not 100% sure.
I think from memory, mate, and you'll correct me, but I think between 72 and 79, you won about 5 of them or something in A grade.
Well, we got the record for 5 grand finals in a row in A grade.
Yep.
And that still hasn't been beaten today. And not one of those blokes got paid $1.
Yeah, no.
So it was great times.
You've also got a record, mate, to letting Danny Sexton play at this club, so there's nothing to write home about.
Yeah, well, that's a whole other story.
So listen, mate. Best player you've seen was Trevor Payton. There was an AFL player here that went on to play for Richmond, I think.
Hardigan.
Yeah, that's Dean's son, isn't it?
Yeah,
Dean Hardigan was a gun.
Yeah, Dean Hardigan actually played cricket here as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
did he coach you as well?
Yeah, he coached here. Yep.
Any other VFL, AFL players?
Paul McKernan played juniors here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Geez, I can't think of a few others, but there's been a few older ones.
Fair to say we didn't do a lot of prep work with Paul Potts, so we're sort of half throwing you under the bus.
We are all right, mate.
So I'm not
You've done
great
well.
on knowledge, but yeah, there's a few.
So that's where we go back to Essendon Tech, mate, where we're not that great on the knowledge.
Well,
mate, I know that you weren't really right up to this to get up here. Yeah. Of your later years, mate, going by the old creep book, I've noticed you might have changed your name to Melrose Pizza lately.
Yeah, I don't mind a pizza now and then, you know. I've gone a bit large like yourself.
Yeah. And Potts,
I'm going down there tomorrow night.
Blokes in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
No, it's a great joint.
It is a great joint.
No, mate, it's just solar panels for love.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Right, now we're going to sign off because this is what it's all about. It's about volunteers at their footy clubs, and we're glad to have Potts on the show. You know the deal, mate.
Come on,
signing
Potts.
off, Shark TV. Fair to say, when we approached him, he was shitting Bluestone.
It was, and you know what? Most people are embarrassed in front of the camera.
Yeah, they are, and the thing that I really did enjoy about Peter, the president, he gave them no notice. He just threw them under the bus. He said, "Hey, Potts, come over here. These blokes are going to interview you." I like that.
Yeah, he was a bit nervous, but he got through it.
He got through it. He did well, and it's bloody great to see. Well, he was probably there. He could potentially have been conceived there. That's how long he's been there for.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay, we'll push on, shall we?
Yeah, wow.
The Rezzies.
Possibility.
I tell you what, the Rezzies were playing the game whilst we were doing some of our finer work.
And listen, just on the Rezzies.
Yes.
Sean Thompson did come up to us on the weekend.
Who's Sean Thompson?
He's the Darren's replacement.
Right.
And he just wanted to clarify for everyone that Sean Thompson, we need to stop that.
Oh, he doesn't like being called
T-homo.
It is T-homo,
It's
is it?
T-homo or FOMO.
Yes.
And we'll put to the viewers' vote, but I can tell you what one already. It's T-homo. That's what it looks like.
Well, T-homo, I stand corrected, and I apologise for calling you Sean Thompson.
Yeah.
It shall not happen ever again.
We're off, mate. Sorry about that.
Done. Now, who's the team manager there of the reserves?
It's not Caitlin?
I'm not sure. Caitlin's a very, very organised individual, normally.
Yeah.
Not a name player or not a goal kicker listed on the team app.
Are you fair to say, though, Caitlin kicked a goal the week before her first goal for Hillside, so she's probably still celebrating.
She would have been still celebrating.
Yeah.
Self-congratulate her. But it was a reasonably physical sort of game.
So, a lot of good players. Like Rizza played in the twos. Jolly Hayes has been outstanding so
Wayne
far.
Carey-esque.
Yeah. Who else was in there? Jules, Joey Careless is in there.
The man with the biggest head in the world, Steele Nason.
Steele Nason's there, the head. And you look at Teller, and they've got Becker.
Will Becker played. Adam Scott played.
So it was a high-quality game.
Mr. Hampshire from Hadfield, he was playing in the twos.
Yeah.
Adam Scott was throwing his weight around a little bit there too.
And Yappa was throwing his jaw around.
It's a shame that Adam Scott didn't just pick his jaw out.
Am
I allowed to say that?
No, you can. No, maybe.
Fair to say that Alex Coleman and Rizza Gashi took homage at the fact that Adam Scott wanted to punch the suitcase out of the lightly framed Jai Wright.
Jai Wright.
They turned on him.
He was lucky the wind stopped. Otherwise, Jai might have blown up to the far end.
Anyway, the Rezzies, 6 goals, 16 inaccurate kicking. Bad kicking's bad football. 6-16-52 defeated the Tullamarine Demons 6-8-44 in a hotly contested contest.
So it's fair to say I think we come home with the bit of breeze that was there, but we were behind all day.
We were.
Yeah, so well done to I was going to list Sean again, to T Homo.
Well done, T Homo. Excellent coaching performance by you. Okay, now we're going to push on with our volunteers, and there's no greater volunteer than this one.
Then the club president,
Peter Labad. I hope I've pronounced that correctly.
If you don't, look out.
Okay.
Because he'll come and swing you.
Joe, if you wouldn't mind dropping the video in there of Peter. Thank you very much. Viewers, back on deck again.
We found him, mate, the hardest working guy in the place.
We always like to go straight to the top. We've got to go to the top all the time.
It's not the bar manager.
No.
It's not. It's not.
We're going straight to the top, to the El Presidente of the Tullamarine Football Club, Mr. Peter Labad. Come and join us in here, mate.
Come on in, Pete.
Hey, bud.
Welcome,
Right.
mate. Thanks for having this magnificent self-award winning show on to Leo Denis Reserve.
Thank you. Good to have you guys here, as long as we get the win.
Okay, mate. Well, it's been a great pleasure having you on here, mate. Off you trot. Pete, how long have you been involved up here?
Since about 2003. I came down with the career club, as captain coach of the career club, and then fell in love with the club, and then joined the footy club. Did a few naughty things on the footy ground. Got banned for life. Yeah, went away.
Steve Burns did something like that too. Don't worry, that's all right.
This interview's just taken an upward spiral.
Yeah, so I went away for a bit, but always had involvement with the career club and helped the young kids of the footy club. Got about 40 blokes from here working for me. We sponsor the club.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah,
you need that support, mate.
Exactly.
You can't do it on your own.
So they work for you, mate. Your company is?
IRS International. So we do shipping containers, refrigeration, all over Australia and New Zealand, and we're owned by a company called Dakin, which everyone would know, Dakin Air Conditioning. So, yeah, pretty big. So I look after the kids. And
you know, you and I were emailing each other during the week, managing director. The big dog.
Yeah, I don't like that.
So, mate, you said you're here originally for cricket. I see up there Danny Sexton's name up there. Mentioned a Potsy, so you're to blame?
Yeah, I'm the blame. I'll take that.
Yeah, he's a horrible bloke, that one, I tell you. I've known him for a long time.
That sort of goes without saying.
If you ever want to have a drink, go out with Danny. You'll never come home.
Right, fair enough. Now, it's just on the footy stuff, Pete. It's great to get one of your juniors back, DC, back to coach this year.
100%. I had a look at DC over the last 2 years, 3 years with Westy, and Westy were struggling, and he brought them from relegation up to finals, and he probably took them to a level that I thought he wouldn't go any further, just with maybe the culture. Our culture, we've got a lot of young kids, and DC's very good with people. Good people person with the young and the old. So I thought, you know what, I think it's time that we maybe bring him back to the club.
That's great.
But as a different role. So what we want is, we don't want coaches to come here for 3 years and go 3 years. We want him here for the next 2-3 years, and when he's done with coaching, maybe director of coaches, put a program to all the young coaches, old coaches, and keep him for life.
There's absolutely no doubt about it. Amongst the EDFL fraternity, that DC is highly regarded and one of the better coaches going around. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, we get along with DC. I know him and Burnsy, our coach, they get along famously. They both go to the same tattoo parlour.
I don't mind a bit of ink. Now, listen, mate, you were talking before about kids. Tell her for a while they'd never had juniors, or a sparse number of juniors. You're back on the way now. You had under-19s out this morning?
Yep, we got our under-19s. Look, we had 16 or 17 on the park, and you guys were actually brilliant out there, really good side. It's about just bringing them on the park and then giving them opportunities on and off the ground. As you can see, it's easy to pay for players and have a good first side, but it's all about the juniors.
Absolutely, mate. No, absolutely. So. Now, while we've got you, you've formed a bit of an alliance there with the Airport Club. Am I right by saying that, Pete? Just talk the fans through that.
Yep. So the Airport Club, you know how hard it is at a club to get someone to be at a bar, stay at night, do the canteen, do all this kind of stuff. So what we thought is, let's give it a crack. We get a dividend, the cricket club get a dividend, and the sporting club get a dividend. It's always manned. We have a little bit of a control about how many people are on, so we can keep the costs down. And maybe the club can just survive, not worrying about doing that side of it, and enjoying being here, eating, having a drink.
No, it's a really good idea. It is a good idea.
I actually got thrown out of the Airport Club a couple of times at some functions. They got myself lost in the pine thistles up at Melrose Drive.
That doesn't surprise me either, does it? Not at all.
Should we kick you out now? No, you're right.
I haven't had a drink yet.
Right, now.
Best player you've ever seen here, mate, in your time?
Honestly, should have been playing VFL minimum, and that's Colin Laurie. Colin Laurie's a champion. I've played with him and I've watched him, and he's the nicest, most placid bloke. To go out and play the way he plays, it's just outstanding.
A bit like the Velvet Sledgehammer.
Yeah.
He's just, yeah, but Cole is absolutely, he's an absolute superstar of the
brilliant.
competition. No doubt.
Did he break his leg, or was it his brother broke his leg?
No, it was Cole.
Cole,
and it was
right in
actually
front of
here
us last week,
couple
couple of years ago.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, right in front of us, and we all went, all to his age, you know, because he's so highly respected in the league.
Yeah, highly respected, mate. But I must admit, he was from Tulla, and I just let him go because the longer he stayed down, the more chance we were of winning.
I guess from Colin's point of view and from what we see as a club, money's been thrown at him, clubs have wanted him, and he's just been a Tulla bloke through and through.
We love those
300 games he knocked up last year, I think so. Yeah,
absolute
well done.
superstar. And Rusco's pretty good too. Big man, Russ. Big man.
The hairdo's going, but he's all right.
It happens to all of us, mate. Don't worry about that. Righto, now. We're not far from kick-off. We've got to let Pete get back to the duties of being the club president.
He's been running around like a hare since
he has been. I've been watching him floating around. He's been like roadrunner.
Roadrunner. Off he goes.
What we do when we sign off like that with a bit of...
He knows already. Don't even have to explain. Of course he does. You ready, Pete?
Signing off,
I hope you do.
Leo Deneen Reserve, the president, Peter Labat. Thanks, mate. Fair to say he was as busy as a one-legged ass kicker.
Yeah, as a one-armed bricklayer in Baghdad.
Now, an observation, and I'm sure you'll agree with me here, that every time we've been to an opposition club, the president's the one that looks a little bit flustered, he's a little bit out of breath, and there's people just saying, can you, and they're running around like blue ass flies.
And to think that, you know, that day there's a lot going on. They've had 19s, they've had reserves before we've even had a chance. The big dance is ready to start. The bar's running, the canteens jumping, and there was people everywhere. It was a cold day. It was people everywhere.
It was very good. It was very good. Okay, so then we go to that shit game that was the big dance. He gave us a couple of little jibes and said, you know,
good on you.
Hope we win.
Whatever, Peter. We don't care for that. But look, we jumped them early. I think we had 4 on the board before they managed to get one on there.
Pretty good.
We did. We started okay, and then it sort of petered out.
The wheels fell right off.
Well, wheels didn't play.
No, he didn't, did he? No, he was still trying to chase the registration number of the West Meadows truck that ran through in the week before.
It was more like a Barbie bus.
Interesting stat here. Do you watch the show The Bounce?
Yes, I do.
And they've got a numbers game that Cameron Mooney plays.
Yeah.
If you just notice there that the reserves and the seniors kicked exactly the same score. I hope I've written that down correctly. Hillside Sharks 6-16-52 lamented to the Tullamarine Demons 13-14-92.
And look, mate, I'd really like to thank you, though, for giving us the insight into Leo Deneen and why they named the reserve after that.
I'm someone that likes to study up a little bit.
Man of the people.
Yeah, I do. I do like that. Yeah. I think it's important that everybody knows about Leo Din and his fundraising ways and making and open up all his playgrounds and bloody centres and footy grounds.
So I'm going to put you a task here to get us the background of Sharks Parks.
Okay. I'll get back to the viewers on that one.
If you could.
It's up on top of a hill and it blows its guts out every friggin' time we play there.
Frazzetto Oval. Yeah. So give us a goal kickers, mate.
The little fish man. 2.
Little fish man. I think they're there for Mitch, aren't they?
Oh, it's a common theme
starting to happen here. Okay, right, yeah.
Fish kick 2. Raf, the man with the stutter. Rash. He kicked 1. My boy Patain. And Tuna.
Tuna got 1. Bootsy got 1. Bootsy's goal was enormous.
I didn't see it.
It's 2 weeks in a row. He's going okay, Boots.
No, he's going good. Best on ground was Ash's husband.
And look,
he was wearing the 1.
Talk about disappointed. He's donned the 1.
Yeah.
So he's trying to get rid of the 7, the phenomenon of the 7.
It's not going to happen.
Working for you.
No, it's not going to happen. But anyway, Ash's husband was BOG.
Did he go to the gym before the game?
Absolutely he did.
Did he?
I saw it on Snapchat. Again, 2 weeks in a row.
Joke.
Jez Hayes is in white hot form at present time.
Well, if he's not, his brother's going to be hanging it on him from
absolutely.
all angles.
Jez Hayes is going a treat. Jakey B, one of the funnier men going around.
Jakey B's first half was really, really good.
Yep.
He was rebounding everything and hitting targets and doing
he did a self-congratulator. He put a post up on Instagram, photograph with his midget mate Jacko Volpato.
Yeah.
Just suffering from another big case of leather poisoning. That was the quote.
He was pretty good.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. It's not good enough to post that sort of shit on social media.
But you know what? When you're Jakey, you're going to do it anyway.
I love Jakey B, though. Him and I have got some man love going on. Well, I think we have anyway. Best players. So Jakey B's in there, Boots is in there, T Drake and J Drake. Good to see J Drake starting to hit a bit of form.
But what I've noticed is T Drake sort of slipped down the list.
A little bit.
Yeah, because the week before he sort of had a little bit of a picture going around social media, didn't he?
He actually, now that's a very good segue. Joe, if you wouldn't mind just dropping this photo in here of what Thomas Drake, the former West Coburg player, put up on social media. Self-congratulator.
Pretty funny man, Tommy Drake.
Very funny man. I'll tell you what,
Did he go from chocolates for boiled olives, didn't he? Eh?
1 week you're a rooster, the next week you're a feather duster.
Oh, God.
Righto. Now, the most important part of the show.
The degustation tour.
Absolutely. This is so much fun. We are actually really enjoying this at the moment. It's very, very good. It's good fun. And the people that we've visited so far have bought in.
It's been great.
No one has bought in as much as Fiona Potter.
Fiona Potter, there's another one. There you go. The pots are all around.
Oh, they are, absolutely. Is there any chance that she may have been conceived in the same club rooms? We'll leave that to someone else to decide.
Maybe at the ground, who knows? But
never mind.
Let's drop that in.
Just before we do, Joe, can we I think we just need to bring the viewers up to speed with how the Tullamarine canteen actually went for us. Now, just to give you a bit of feedback there, Luke Carawine here, he sampled the snitter roll.
I did the snitter roll. I think you had the steam bun hot dog.
I had the hot dog. Now listen here. We're gonna make up a leaderboard, okay?
Well, yeah.
I need to find some time to be able to do that, okay? But as it stands at the moment in terms of the hot dog, I've still got Craigie Byrne just on top.
Just on top.
Yes, just on top. It was a bloody good
reaction on the weekend was.
But let me give you the tip. No, I'll tell you what. I'll give you the whole inch.
Yeah, go
on. Tullamarine, they steam their fresh bread roll buns.
I've never heard of it before in my life.
Wowee.
Yeah, I've never heard of it before in my life.
When the opposition clubs go to Leo's Deneen's reserves, okay, ask for a hot dog and ask to make sure that the bread roll steamed. It just
not the dim sim, the bread roll.
The bread roll. How was the snitter roll?
It was okay.
Was it?
It was okay.
Not as good as Oak Park's?
I missed out on the gravy, so I think maybe that was it. But
okay.
Oak Park was a little bit better. But yeah,
all in all, Leo's Deneen's reserves, not a bad canteen at all.
No, it was jumping.
Joe, let's go and have a chat to Fiona, shall we? Welcome back. Now, this is where the real game starts.
We're into the heart of a footy club.
The epicentre as our gastronomic tour throughout the EDFL Division 1 clubs continues.
The degustation.
Where are we again? Tell me.
Leo's Deneen's Reserve, Tullamarine.
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 Okay, don't worry. Cut that rubbish out. Righto. The seconds aren't too far off finishing, and then the big show's going to start. And what we want to do is we want to introduce another club legend. We've seen some club legends here today already at Leo's Deneen's.
They've rolled out the big guns so far.
They have. We're going to call her over now. Her name is Fiona Potter.
Fiona Potter.
Come in and join us, please.
Hi. Fiona, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to Shark TV, Fiona.
Fiona, how long have you been up here?
49 years.
Just 49?
29.
49.
49?
You're not that old. Let's go and tell a bit of no, you're not. How long have you been involved here in the canteen?
Maybe about 5 years.
5 years. Okay. The evolution of the schnitzel roll.
Yep, amazing.
Does it have lettuce and mayonnaise on it?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Sometimes a bit of gravy.
Bit of gravy?
Yeah.
Does make the roll go
Hang
soggy,
on, mate, hang on. Teller have gone to a new level now. The gravy on there.
Have.
What about the chicken parmigiana schnitzel roll?
Yeah, that's good. And the strop burger. Sausage roll in a...
There's an old Essendon tech throwback if I've ever heard one.
I'm a fan of a bit of margarine on the roll and then put the sausage roll in there.
I don't want a dim sim in a roll myself.
Oh, yeah.
He looks like he likes a dim sim in a roll, doesn't he?
Settle down, Pinocchio. Okay. Righto. Most popular item that you sell here?
Chicken schnitzel rolls, yeah.
Chicken schnitzel roll. Yeah. The demise of the meat pie?
Yeah, gone.
It's horrible.
Finished, yeah.
What about the hot dogs, Fiona? Tell us about the hot dogs.
Good. The rolls are amazing because they're steamed. The rolls we use, so they're
steam roll.
So
wow, there's a tip for you.
We're just moving up a little bit. You've taken over Craigie, man, I tell you.
Oh, we haven't tried one yet. No. Go easy.
Now, what about the steam briquette?
Yeah, that's good.
I had a couple of dim sims up here a couple of years ago, and you could have warmed the entire ground with them. They were that hot.
Oh, were they really? Stuck to the top of your mouth. Yeah. Beautiful. Well, this is yet another legend and another volunteer of the EDFL representing Tullamarine Footy Club. Thank you very much for coming on our really bad show. Have we given Fiona the heads up how we sign off?
No, we haven't, but we'd like to order 2 schnitzel rolls as we take off here. So you ready? This is how we do it.
Like this. Shark TV.
Biggest game of the round. The biggest game of the round. Under 18 girls.
You're not going to say anything about how well performed Fiona was in that interview?
Nope.
I thought you were very good, Fiona. Well done and congratulations.
Oh, look, she was great. But when the girls...
the girls, okay.
When the girls beat the opposition...
Oh, yeah. Under 18 girls played on Friday night up at Sharks Parks. Wind chill factor, -6.
Yeah. And who'd they beat? Burnside, piss off.
They did too. We haven't had a lot of success against Burnside this year, but when we do, the Hillside Sharks, 8 goals, 13, 61, defeated the one goal straight, 6 behind.
So, yeah, it's great. How good is that? Joshy McFan's doing a good job down there.
He's a good man, Jay McFan.
He is.
Like him.
So Megan Francis got 3.
Yep.
Rachel Burton got a couple.
This is interesting. We've gone back to the Cameron Mooney numero friggin' uno thing.
So we've got Kathleen, Jessica, and Rebecca Coleman all amongst the goal kickers.
All had 1 each.
How good is that?
That's unbelievable.
So the old man would have been up there snapping away, taking pictures. And,
absolutely.
Had a great old time.
Absolutely.
Well done to Mark. That's
absolutely loves his camera, Marky boy. Congratulations to Mark and his beautiful wife, of course. Best players. Great to see Rachel Burton named best on ground. She can seriously play this girl. I love her to death.
She can, and it's great. Hopefully, she got through that game uninjured.
I hope so too. She probably only played half. Still got BAG. Molly Chant, Sabrina, Megan Francis, Brittany Bonner, who does serve a magnificent pizza there at the Hillside Shark, sponsors Urban Pizza.
Right.
Yep. And Tina Kay.
Tina who?
I practiced. Tina, God, please forgive me. I practiced out there, and I thought I had it right, and I don't now. Tina Kay.
Well done, Tina Kay.
How good. Right, excellent. Now,
a couple of functions coming up, mate. Yeah. DJ Vigo was great.
Yep.
A couple coming up.
Yep.
2nd of June, Vegas night.
Right. I take it's a bit of cards.
Oh, I'm assuming. Who knows? A bit of...
I won't be there.
No?
No, doesn't interest me, cards.
No?
Yep.
Yeah, well, there you go. It'll be a good night, even better night now. 14th of July, the annual ball's coming up, so I'm sure that the sheets will be on the wall there. Do yourself a favour. Book a table.
Get around it.
Get around it.
Is there any chance that you and the postman might be able to work the audio out this year? We can do some of our finer work.
Oh, you were attending this year, right?
Oh, yes. I'm defending my title up in Cairns a couple of weeks later.
So it's funny that you mentioned the postman. Big congratulations out to him and Lyndon. For
yes. Isn't that interesting? Yet
being,
another Hillside Shark coach coaching EDFL.
Rep footy. So well done to BF.
Well done, BF. You great big
and the
flog.
postman. Great announcement.
Chief Cone Technicians.
Chief Cone Technicians. So good on that.
That's what I'm doing for you.
They'll be strutting around in a bit of EDFL gear soon, no doubt.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Now, next week we're off to Hanson's Reserves.
Hanson Reserves.
We're gonna give. I think his name escapes me right now, but I think
you said something Young before.
I think Dino Young is still the president. Thank you very much for that. Is still the president of Airport West. So I'm going to check in with him and make sure that we're welcome there. And if we're not, there's going to be a media off anyway.
Oh yeah. Well,
I've heard a little whisper from my...
our manager's taken a call.
He has taken a call. And apparently the Souvlaki van is going to be at Hanson's Reserves on Saturday, and you and I are going to pay it a visit.
Look, they've requested our attendance, and I said, well...
Apparently Sarah Cogley is still trying to...
I don't know if we can.
Well, Sarah Cogley apparently has got the hat out around the EDFL, and he's still just trying to raise the 5,000 it is to get us there.
Well, that's what I heard from Wiz, for a fee of 5,000.
Oh, the Wiz just said 5,000 tonight for free.
Tonight for free. We're a chance of getting up there. We're going to finish off tonight with an interview with a chap by the name of Alan Bent, who trotted in on the weekend from Tulla. I'll let Alan tell you his story. It's a great story.
It's great to see that we were able to get a club legend footballer. Yeah. Because Potsy probably doesn't sit in that.
No, he doesn't. No, he tries to.
God bless you, Pots.
You're not. No. But listen to Alan's story about his journey out at Tulla. And
all the success they had. They had a lot of success, didn't they? So, okay, we're going to leave you with Alan, the interview there, and then we're going to sign off now, and we're just going to let Alan tell us all about his illustrious career.
So, shall we trot off, mate?
Next week.
Into a sunset. Let's go.
Shark TV, signing off. Viewers, back on set again. Now, we've been swanning around the Leo Dineen Reserves clubhouse. We have. And we've gone from a modern day great, self-proclaimed, although Potsy. We've found an absolute club legend.
Absolute club legend. From what I understand, five back-to-back time premiership player.
Yeah, absolutely.
In one.
Why don't you introduce
Alan Bent? Come on in, mate. Come and join us.
Welcome to Shark TV, Alan.
Thanks for joining us, mate.
Pleasure to be here. Very good.
Alan, you played in the 75, 6, 7, 8 and 79 premierships?
I did so, yes. Up here at Tullamarine, our first premiership in 1975, we played down at Fairburn Park under the name of Essendon Tullamarine, because there was an amalgamation between Ascot Vale Prezzies and Essendon Baptist St John's. I was formerly from the Essendon Baptist St John's.
Okay.
And the amalgamation was in 1973-74, just after the 73 season, because there was a whole lot of clubs down around Fairburn Park that were vying for people to play footy. So the intention was to move up here, but then there was a major flood around Fairburn Park in I think it was sort of end of 75, early 76 that preempted our relocation up to here, and we played a season up at up near the airport, just opposite where the Essendon Footy Ground or the Essendon Footy Club hangar is now.
Now tell me, Alan, you're actually captain of that team in 75, is that correct?
No, I wasn't captain, but I was at that stage. I had a bit of a story behind me that up until then I played most of my football on the forward line or around the centre line, and it was a little bit of a reputation that maybe I wasn't the straightest kick for goals. So the coach at the time, who I'd known for many years, he said, "You better play at full-back after one game." Okay. So he shifted me to full-back in the second game, or the first game of 1975. We got beaten by Aberfeldy by 16 goals at Aberfeldy, down at Aberfeldy's ground.
And were they as horrible then as what they are now?
Dreadful, yes, they've not improved. And we then sort of consolidated a little bit through the year, and I think we ended up winning our last 13 games straight to get into the four. Won all of our finals and ended off with a grand final, got a cup, yes.
Congratulations.
So it was an amazing turn of events in a few years that, working from a club that was struggling for finding junior players and players to winning the grade grand final.
Wonderful effort.
And in those days, there was no cash about, everybody just played.
Wouldn't we like to relive those days
for
again?
the fun of it,
Yeah, absolutely.
So you played 5 flags in a row. How many games altogether?
Oh, that escapes me. Yeah,
thousands.
No, it wouldn't be thousands, of course, but a lot. Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
And I think there's also there that we were just a little bit before we were speaking to Alan about a best and fairest in the EFL comp, the Dick Reynolds Medal. You won.
Yeah, that was in 1975. That was, as I say, I got shifted to fullback in the first game. And at that stage, Aberfeldy, typically is what they are today. They had a number of players that they'd imported from Yarraville who were part of VFA those days. Yep. And my first game, I think I got about 6 goals kicked on me, but I was able to come to grips with what the role was, and ended up at the end of the year, surprisingly, I won the Dick Reynolds Medal for the A-grade best and fairest.
Congratulations! So, that's an enormous effort, whatever era, whatever year.
In a premiership year.
In a premiership year.
And what about at club level? That same year, did you?
No. That year I didn't win the best and fairest of the club. It was who I regard as probably the best player here, which was a guy called Greg O'Brien, who was actually the son of Delly O'Brien, used to captain North Melbourne. Okay. But Greg and I were great friends. We went through primary school together and played footy together, but he was just, sort of an amazing footballer. He played one practice game for North Melbourne Reserves, and he kicked 6 goals from the wing, but decided that, the AFL VFL just wasn't for him.
You hear that a lot, don't you, with local footballers?
So there was probably a guy called Keith Gregg that was probably just in front of him in that era.
Maybe.
Yeah, so,
well, it's really, really good to have to find Alan kicking around here and get a club legend
so
involved.
Do you come up here often to watch him?
I'd spend a bit of time just going to North Melbourne. I've got a son who we go to North Melbourne home games, but when it's not bitterly cold or raining,
I understand.
I wander up here and sort of run into a few old faces. And
that's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's good.
Enjoy the club environment.
Absolute pleasure to have you on here, mate. I know that we have a bit of fun. We like to promote our club as well as the opposition club. So, do you know how we sign off, mate?
Well, I think I've heard about it.
Let's do it. You ready?
Alan, welcome. Thank you for coming. Shark TV.
Thanks, mate. mate, are you the bloke from the TV?
Yeah, that's right, dickhead.
Yeah. Are you the Daryl Eastlake?